Hello and welcome to a new episode of Under 360 English. And today we are going to discuss about the possibilities of investment in Sri Lanka. We know that Sri Lanka already they are facing a lot of difficulties and the economy itself is not in a very good position. But still, if you are an aggressive investor, obviously the slogan is invest at bad times and exit at good times. So in that case, if you are looking for a country like Sri Lanka, we know that already the inflation is very high. The political stability, it's also not that much hopeful. But still, to our amusement, the capital markets in Sri Lanka, that's still functioning. Though the working time, the trading time is somewhat truncated. And when we think about the valuation, that looks very attractive. That's what we are going to discuss. What are the possibilities of investment in Sri Lanka? What are the risks associated? Whether as an Indian, we can be able to invest there in Sri Lanka or not. Keep watching. Stay tuned. For an Indian investor, when it comes to Sri Lanka, many things that are associated with the stock markets will amuse us. For example, we know that in India you can find hundreds of stockbrokers, but unfortunately there in Sri Lanka, the number of stockbrokers, including the bigger ones or the smaller ones, that less than 10. And one or only one, and the stock market that deals and the stock trades that deals with almost 99.99% is with a single stock exchange, that's Colombo Stock Exchange, CSE. And the market cap of Sri Lankan Stock Exchange, the entire stock that with Sri Lanka, that's a CSE, is just 16,000 million USD. So you can just imagine how small the market is. So the advantage as well as the disadvantage of getting into such small market is the volatility will be very high. So if you are an aggressive trader or looking for some quick profits, these kind of markets will give you an unparalleled experience. When we look onto the performance of Sri Lankan stock markets, when we consider the Sri Lankan stock indices, there are two main indices are there, just similar to India. In India, that's Sensex as well as Nifty is there. Similar to that, here there are two indices, that's ASPI and S&P 20. S&P 20 is managed by Standard & Poor, just similar to that of S&P 50, Nifty 50, that managed in India. So let's have a quick look on the performance of S&P Sri Lankan 20 in the past 1 year. You can find that in last May, it was 2,832, and slowly that has been raised and reached its peak in the month of January to 4,604. So that was a phenomenal run. But unfortunately, after that, all these political uncertainties and economic crisis, it drops to an year low of 2,125. So after that, what happened is a few political news came, like a change of president to Ranil Wickremesinghe, and trying to revamp the entire economy and going on with certain non-binding laws, and some reforms are also in the pipeline. The stock market suddenly jumped in 5 trading days, and that reached to 2,795. That means almost 25% that has been jumped. And as an investor's point of view, optimally we are anticipating that it will touch in the range of 3,600 to 3,800 within 3 to 4 months, or even more than that, because a lot of financial reforms, economic reforms that are there in the pipeline, either that will be shut off or a lot of external agencies that will come into play, including China or India or World Bank. They may write off some of their debts and pump some money into Sri Lanka. So that's what actually Sri Lankan Central Bank is expecting. So that's the one reason why the Sri Lankan stock markets, they found a bit more aggressive nowadays. So a sideways movement is not expected at all for Sri Lankan market for the next 3 to 4 months, and the probability of going down is less than that of expecting to move up. So as an investor, that gives a better edge of the scenario than staying back there in a sideways moving market. One other advantage we can put forward is about the market PE. When compared to any other markets, that's including India, the PE of Sri Lanka seems to be somewhat very less. Now let's look on the challenges that we can expect. The challenge, as you know, Sri Lanka is almost devastated. Even some of the major foreign banks like Deutsche, they have stopped their operations and left Sri Lanka. None of their employees are staying back there in Sri Lanka now. The last office they were maintained there in Kandy, and that also has been shut down a couple of weeks back. So political uncertainty, economic uncertainty, everything prevails. That's a major challenge and the threat that we are anticipating in investment of Sri Lanka. Another anticipated threat is the ever fluctuating forex rates. For example, today's forex rate, that's Indian rupee against Sri Lankan rupee, is 1 Indian rupee equal to 23 Sri Lankan rupee. But that was fluctuating between 17 rupee and 25 rupee. You can anticipate the percentage of fluctuation that had been happened. So this is one another matter of concern that you have to anticipate. But still, many international companies and even Indian companies like IOC Lanka, that's Indian Oil Corporation, that's the Lankan arm, that also at a very discounted rate you can get over there. And bigger companies like Singer or Delma, all are there. And some international subsidiaries are also available there at a cheaper valuation. So now the question is how you can invest there. Do we need to go over there and start an account and invest there? No such things are needed at all. What you have to do is, unlike in India, you first start the account there with the stock exchange. That's the CSE, Colombo Stock Exchange. Then only that will be attached to the broker. So the unique ID, unique number, that's with the CDS number, and that will be attached to a broker. And almost a 1 to 1.5% charges, all these brokerage and the exchange transaction charge, that will be levied for every transaction. Nothing called a discount broker or anything are available over there. And after starting the CDS account number, you can collaborate with a broker. And now you may think about the remittance part, how you can transact the money. For that, you have to start an IIA account, inward investment account. So through this account, you can invest money. So all the non-nationals as well as non-resident Sri Lankans, also they can invest money only through inward investment accounts. How to open this account? That's very easy when compared to opening any account by a foreigner or an NRI or NRO there in India. You need a passport and the minimum amount to be invested. Moreover, if you have any accounts there in India with the same branch, for example HSBC, if you have an account there in HSBC India, the same KYC can be revalidated for Sri Lanka. Similarly, in the case of Citibank, if you have an account there in Citibank India, the same KYC can be revalidated there with Sri Lanka. That holds good with the national trust also, especially if you are a NRI staying somewhere there in the Europe or somewhere. That's much easier. And along with the passport, a self-affidavit, that will open your account. And when it comes to the minimum investment or the minimum deposit amount, what HSBC is saying, that is 10 million Sri Lankan rupee. That may be equivalent to 20 lakh Indian rupee. And after opening the account, you can transfer the money from your Indian account to Sri Lankan account and transfer it and do trading as usual. Because of the power crisis and everything, nowadays Sri Lankan stock exchanges are working only for 3 hours from 9:30 to 12:30, not through the regular hours. Again, I want to remind you that investing in a country like Sri Lanka is always risky. But still, that doesn't bear the risk that associated with you invest in some penny stocks in India. Some of the companies in Sri Lanka that our valuation is very cheaper when compared to India. As I told you earlier, IOC Lanka, that's one classic example. So this video is just about giving an awareness of overseas investment opportunities that you can do even for the retailers. But still, it's very risky to invest in Sri Lanka. So before you proceed, please consult your chartered accountant and proceed further. So that's all for now. See you in the next video. Till then, bye from Anup.